What's up, guys, and welcome to my review for the highly anticipated sequel, Disenchanted. The first film came out in 2007, so that's about 15 years ago, Thanksgiving weekend, if you can believe it. And I just put up a review for it, I believe it was last week, talking about that film. I remember seeing that movie in theaters, and, I think it's really good. I think the score and soundtrack by Alan Menken and Stephen Schwartz is great. And I thought the story was a great spin on the Disney fairy tale, bringing it to the real world. So going into the sequel, of course, I was extremely excited, along with a lot of other people. We followed Giselle yet again with her newfound family, Robert, played by Patrick Dempsey, and Morgan, and they now have a daughter. They're a family now, and they want to move to the suburbs because the life in New York City for a full family is just a little too much, as it seems. Giselle wants more excitement and happiness as she lived in the life of Andalasia. So they move to the suburbs, where they find Maya Rudolph is basically the head of the town, and she's not a very nice lady. She's a bit stern, but we meet a whole slew of other characters in the town. But Morgan, she doesn't really like it too much. She wants to go back to New York. And one thing leads to another, and Giselle says, you know what? This isn't really working for me either. So we've got this magic wand that we got as a gift from Nancy and Edward. Idina Menzel and James Marsden return in the film, and they come to visit their new home and give them a gift and said, look, this is for the son or daughter, true son or daughter of Andalasia. So here is this gift. And Giselle uses this wand to create a fairy tale life that she so desires. And what happens after that maybe isn't what she'd expected at all. This movie isn't as good as the first film. I think it's not bad. I think it's watchable. It's fun. It's entertaining. It's a little long, I think. I think that the film is about 10 minutes longer than the first movie, which I thought had a really good pace and runtime to it. This time around, you do sort of feel the length, especially in the middle of the film. I think the very real stuff with Giselle and Robert and Morgan, when we see them in the beginning of the film, particularly the end of the film, the very real life stuff before she casts the spell, I actually found that stuff the best of the film. But once she casts the spell, there's a really good musical number, but the stuff that happens and takes place, the story I just thought was not necessarily sloppy, but it just wasn't, I didn't think the story was great. It was okay, it was watchable, but I don't think it was as clever as the first movie was. The songs, again, are really good by Alan Menken and Stephen Schwartz. The best songs of the film, there's four that I wrote down. Fairy Tale Life, After the Spell, Perfect, Batter, and Love Power are the best songs of the movie. And Alan Menken's score as well is great. Will any of these songs get nominated for an Academy Award? What one would they go for? They'd probably go for the Idina Menzel number. But you never know, which is Love Power. But you never know what they'll go for if they're going to nominate any of this. Look, Alan Menken hasn't received an Oscar nomination since, I believe, the Tangled film in 2010, where he was nominated for I See the Light. Didn't win. He was nominated for 3 Oscars in the year 2007 or 2008 for that ceremony. The songs in the first film are superior. You're not going to be dum bum ba dum bum ba bum bum. You're not going to be really humming any of these tunes, I don't think. Not off the first listen, anyway. Right after watching that first movie, you're humming. Really great stuff they created for this. This film, I don't know if there's anything yet that I'm going to be humming, but the music, the lyrics, they are really good. But the film itself, look, it's not as good as the first one. It is a little longer. I think the Maya Rudolph character, she's great in the film. She's relishing it. The musical number that I mentioned, Batter, is probably the funnest musical number of the film. Really entertaining, really good stuff. And the editing was really hyper, and I enjoyed that. But, her character, she's not as good as the Susan Sarandon character from the first one. They're not trying to really go for that 100%, but she becomes the villain of the town, so I suppose she is the new baddie. And like I said, it just doesn't work as good. Overall, I just don't think the film is as good, but it is not bad either. It's watchable, it's fun. It's nice to see these characters back, and Alan Menken and Stephen Schwartz coming back together to do a new soundtrack. The score as well brings Alan Menken back to his roots. So, look, in the end of the day, this film is a 3.5 out of 5 stars for me. And if I'm going to talk about the Disney sequels that came to Disney Plus as of late, I do think Hocus Pocus 2 is a better film than Disenchanted. So, guys, look, you can comment down below. What are your thoughts on the film? Do you plan on seeing it? Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. I got a review for Enchanted up now. The new films we just saw last night, She Said, and The Menu, reviews for those. And next week, we got a lot of movies coming out. We've got Steven Spielberg's The Fabelmans, Bones and All, Knives Out, The Glass Onion, Strange World, tons of movies coming out next week. They'll be having reviews up for. And guys, you can follow me on Twitter, RyanKing72, and Instagram and TikTok at KingOfRises131. And that's been it for me. Thank you so much for watching my review for Disenchanted. And until next time, over and out.